And welcome back to DBacks on Deck. So you guys saw there look at the first half of the season. Cameron Cox, Lina watched here, joined by Lina. I was thinking of a nickname for Jody. It's like the queen of Arizona sports.
Yes,
is
absolutely.
That
Hall of Famer.
Wow,
Jody
wow,
Jackson.
that is, that's lofty. I don't know.
Oh, you know it, Jody. Jody, we appreciate
cool. Thank you guys. It's great to be with you guys.
Yeah,
I missed you guys.
Well, we missed you too as well. It's good to be back in the ballpark coming off the
yeah.
All-Star break. Jody, when you think of the first half of the season, what comes to mind?
Wow, there have been some really good moments, but there have been some really bad ones as well, and that goes with every baseball season. But I think, gosh, the offense is great again, just like it was last year.
Yeah. So much talent, right?
So much talent. Like the All-Star game was a great example of that. What team really showed out like the Diamondbacks?
Right.
You had Marte was looking like an MVP, 2 RBIs. You had Corbin hitting a home run.
Yeah.
And
Gino probably would have done more if they don't hit him on the hand.
Right.
I know. I said to Gino, what did Shane Smith ever do to you? He goes, I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, that is just really crazy. But he made the great defensive play. Yeah. And, you think, what team has this much talent offensively, And those guys are good on defense as well. I just think the injuries with the pitching, early on, especially the way that it hit this team, some of those losses, and if we see 5 or 6 more wins, do we feel differently? I think we do, right?
Because they're higher in the standings,
If you see 5 or 6 more wins, and not that that's all on the bullpen or all on the starters, but if you're able to just get that right now where we sit now with their 5.5 back, it just makes a big difference. So.
Yes. Speaking of which, you've been around this team for quite some time. You've seen it all. You've been around it. Have you experienced that kind of gut punch that early in the season when you think about the history of this team and all the adversity it's had to overcome?
Not in one area like this, Lina, with the bullpen, when you saw, and I can't remember the order right now, but Martinez and Puck and
Burns
then being in the start, but in the pitching ranks to see that. Now, actually, I have brought up the point many times that the rotation is still pretty healthy.
Yeah.
Right.
And as much as Corbin Burns really stings and it's hard, I think what's been harder there, too, is just the performance hasn't been as even as we're used to from Gallen or even from Fott, and Merrill's been steady, but Ryan Nelson's been pretty steady. But one area with the bullpen and then you add in that starter really makes a difference. And I really can't. In 2021, which was, of course, a horrible year, every time I bring up 2021 to Tori or anyone, they're just like, well, flush that. That's over.
We're not going to remember that.
No one really talks about the fact that it was starting pitching. Starting pitchers went down in that season, and it made it very hard. And of course, you didn't have this young influx of talent yet. You were kind of transitioning from some of the guys that were on the team prior to, and you didn't have the Corbin Carrolls and the Perdomos yet.
Right.
So this is really, I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I even look at the 47 wins. I know it's not where they want to be, but it's taken a lot to get there with all these injuries. Sure. So, it's kind of tough because just the National League is so tough this year.
Right, and the expectations were so high. When you get knocked down, it's hard to get back up for the fans at least.
For sure.
Yeah. GM Jody, what are you doing? We buying or selling here?
Boy, it's hard because it's a different space. So luckily, Mike Hazen has a lot more experience than I do, and all of his assistant GMs as well. And I think we all have a lot of confidence in what these guys are going to do because we've seen it. You go back to 2019 with Jazz Chisholm for Zach Gallen. What a great trade that was. When they were buying, you see some great ones when they're buying, right? JD Martinez, no one will ever forget that. And yet this is hard because you've got 4 guys that are free agents after the season, and what do? They're assets for you right now, and you need pitching. And that's the thing. I think when you take the big picture, you need pitching. We think about buyers right now for this year, but you need it for next year too, because all these guys are going to be hurt for part of the year when you have elbow surgery.
Trading talent away, the good talent.
Yeah.
You don't want to do it. Right?
Yeah, and of course they could bring back some of these guys, maybe, I know everybody's fallen in love with Gino in a short time here, just like they did in Cincinnati and Seattle. The guy's a great human, no less baseball player, right? But let's just dream a dream there, right? Maybe you trade him, you get a bunch of assets, or you get what you can get. It's a rental, but and then let's say he comes back. So you just don't know. You can't count on that happening. But I think that Mike will weave his magic. I think that he'll. And then you go in that clubhouse and they talk about these 12 games. So does it look? I think we're all hoping it looks different in this 12 game set of games before
Right.
the break, not the break, we just came off the break, the trade deadline.
The trade deadline.
My brain is still on break,
We're
but
all on summer break.
yeah, I just think obviously, yes, he can probably turn some of these guys into some great assets for the Arizona Diamondbacks now and going forward.
Yeah.
And they need pitching. They need to restock on the pitching because they've lost so many guys due to injury.
There we go.
Jody Jackson, one of the most
Thanks, guys.
talented and intelligent people in Arizona sports. It's been a pleasure to have you on the call for the Diamondbacks for so long.
Thank
and you'll
you,
see her all
guys.
over the town.
I appreciate
really.
you guys.
She's doing everything.
Great to be with you.
And then watch out for her son. Going to be a starting quarterback next year.
Yes, go Aztecs, right?
Football
Corona del
mom,
Sol.
too.
Yes, football mom doing all the things. Volleyball mom, softball mom, all the things. Thank you, Jody.
Thanks.